and welcome to this episode of Women in Ag Today blog. My name is Michelle Pelletier Marshall, and I am the editor of the blog. Joining us today is Claudia Vasquez of Original Story. She has recently contributed an article about European food trends, and today she's here to tell us a little bit more and answer a few questions. So thank you for joining us, Claudia.
Hi, Michelle. Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Hi from Barcelona, Spain.
So we'll just get right into a few questions. In the story, you talked about pleasure, health, and ethics as the main important things for folks when they're choosing food in Europe. Could you address that a little bit more and also give us an idea of where GMO and organic food falls in on that list?
Very good. So due to COVID-19, according to a Nielsen report shared early this year, consumer focus has been more on health, mental health, and well-being, giving more importance to their families and children's education. And I would like to share with you a screen, an inspiring screen, where you can see really the big difference and the change of scenario. Yes. And you have these, look at the numbers, look at the percentages of how important grocery plays and education play in households in the next intentions for the next 12 months, and look at how just because of lockdown and lack of confidence, and because people are more focused and want to stay at home, they don't want to go and have a dinner outside. Out of home, minus 31%, or even travels. So these big differences create an impact in the food consumption, but also what we understand today by leisure and by services. It's really quite inspiring, I think, to show that it goes beyond food. These thoughts go beyond food. And that's what I think it's important for us to remind, that even we are in agriculture, agribusiness, and food, everything is connected. And this new focus means food that is healthier and more sustainable are sought after more now than ever before. And as we agree, we can feel this is a new lifestyle. And this new lifestyle due to the new health and food safety reasons, and also because of media, because of companies, because of all the noise we have around us, to be more aware of animal well-being and the impacts of global and the climate change. Thanks to the scientific committees and scientific experts that are creating awareness on that. And believe it or not, European consumers will choose to the food with a lower price and even more in turbulent times, more than ever. A few weeks ago, there was a press conference about BioFar, which is the main European organic trade fair here in Europe. And one of the so there was the FIBL and the IFO, two entities, key institutions inspiring data and insights about organic food production and agriculture. And the data, the really interesting data that was very inspiring for me was the consumption of potato. The same data that we saw after the Second World War. We might talk about fancy food, innovative food, but at the end of the day, when war is hitting not only one country, but a global planetary region, that's a really global, worldwide, it is still basic food and basic vegetable that we are still consuming the most. So that was already an important fact to take into account.
Interesting. Back to basics, where people feel safe and sure and actually inexpensive, right, for a potato versus some of the fancier foods. So certainly. Mm-hmm. And also relative to that, in your article, you spoke of a slight fall in beef consumption and maybe favoring poultry. So could you give a little more information about that and what you think this might be attributed to?
Yes, so I took for this, I took as some data from European statistics database called Eurostat. And according to this database and experts, European consumers eat on average 42 million tons of meat every year. And the United States sales of meat at grocery stores are down by more than 12% from a year ago. And in Europe, overall beef demand is predicted to fall 1% this year. This slight reduction is starting to be visible due to the reduction of the imports and also due to the less consumption of out-of-home meals, as we could see before in the Nielsen IQ chart I shared with you. So this due obviously to the different waves of lockdowns worldwide. But an inspiring data I could extract is that the African swine fever, which re-emerged in 2020, has strongly impacted European and consumers' consumption of pig and meat consumption. So what you could see also, I would like to share another screen where you can definitely see this. Let me share this one. Yes, so you see numbers can talk by themselves. You see the losses, the dramatic amount of losses of domestic pigs, and definitely you eat less meat, you go more to poultry, but also you go more towards new trends such as the plant-based food, for instance.
Absolutely, that's a big market right now. You know, in the US, we're seeing a lot of that, and globally, the world over, with different options, and that's made a big impact in European consumption as well, I'm sure.
Yes, and about plant-based food, just a little insight about this part. Organic is play a big is taking some important part of the food pie in retailers and also for food brands. They're opening new niche market with organics, but also with plant-based food. So you have here in Spain a very active player called Heura, Heura. They are producing plant-based meat and plant-based products, and they're really doing a big part in creating awareness, but also creating great marketing to play around food. And on the other side, in France, you've got a new plant-based bacon called La Vie.
Wow.
Also very glamorous, they're luring you in a really nice way, trying to inform about it looks like, but it's healthier than bacon. So again, marketing still plays a big role in not only by creating awareness, but by creating a new movement of I am healthy, but also I'm in, you know, I'm following the trend.
Right. Yeah. And, you know, the discussions too around having less animals to care for as far as, you know, eating regular meat is better for the environment. There's some of that talk as well. But, and finally, in our discussion, in terms of the recent conflict with Russia and Ukraine, how have you seen the effects of that in the European food supply chain based on what's happening?
Well, what is surprising here is that only the conflict started 2 weeks ago, and we already see the impact already in the price of basic foods such as flour, sunflower oil, and all meats. And besides the food category sector, even in the hotels. A few days ago, I've been informed that some hotels located in Barcelona were already charging more than $4 extra for breakfast to their guests, and gasoline prices are up 30% in just the last weeks. So it's really the consequences of the war can be seen today in Europe, but worldwide today, and it's it really makes people think it's not a question of solidarity anymore, of humanity, but like, hey, it's really affecting my household consumption habits and my budget. So it's really a wake-up call for everyone.
Yes. And along with the last 2 years with the pandemic that has made food prices go up and just made people much more aware of food in general. People kind of probably take that for granted a little bit, but once you have these things that impact the source so much and the availability, it's really something to think about. So definitely calling worldwide attention to what you eat.
Mm-hmm. And everything is connected, you see, all the fitness gyms, how many of them have closed since then? Right. Because you do everything at home. So you're looking after your mental health, your well-being from home. Yes. And this balance you do with food. But besides this, unfortunately, we stick to the numbers, and what FAO says is that world food prices recorded an annual increase of 20.7%, particularly in dairy and vegetable oils. So it's really it matters, food matters, but it's still a tricky topic. Even more in during war, because in Europe, another trend, what I forgot to mention, is that the fresh produce consumption is decreasing. So imagine even more during war, what's going to happen. So right. I hope these few insights are helpful for you that are based in the other side of the ocean. Yes. And hopefully I will be able to share more positive news, not only negative ones.
Well, it would be great to keep connecting in the future for our Women in Ag Today blog and to have more pieces by you. So we appreciate your time today and look forward to hearing more. And
thank you.
Everyone out there, we post every Tuesday, so please stay tuned and we'll hear more stories on food and agribusiness across the world. So thanks again for joining us, and
bye. Thank you.